Psychos and Sickos unite for a Villain Junior Game Winner edition of the PHNX Suns post-game show, brought to you by our friends over at Bet365. Download Bet365 app, use code PHNX365 when you sign up. Deposit 10, place a bet for 5, and get $150 in bonus bets. How the hell did the Phoenix Suns win this game against the Timberwolves 114-113? I'm Eric, that's Espo. We got the Freckled Mamba behind the Mac, making all the magic happen. All of you are making all the magic happen in the chat. Hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. Espo, How did the Phoenix Suns win this game?
The Phoenix Suns are the luckiest team in the NBA. Suck it, Ant. Suck it, Rudy Gobert. Suck it, all the Great Lakes. That was the craziest basketball game I have ever witnessed in my entire life. You're up 18, then you blow the lead. Devin fouls out. Dylan fouls out. You have one of the worst offensive performances we've seen from Devin Booker. And somehow, some way, this team just does the little things. They get steals. They figure it out. They have 26 turnovers in this game, and they still win by a point. They freaking did every little thing at the end of that game to win it. Do we have it, Ayrton? I'm just going to name this. This was the Buscemiest of all Buscemis. The full Buscemi isn't even enough on this spectrum. There is a whole nother level of Buscemi. The you ain't a beauty, but hey, you're all right of basketball games. It was not pretty, but it was effective, and they got the win. This was this broke the Buscemi spectrum tonight.
So Right now, I'm being transported back to the Atlanta Hawks game and that three-quarter court shot from Royce O'Neal. And us sitting here on the post-game saying all the bad stuff that happened with the Suns before, it all goes out the window if Royce O'Neal hits that three-quarter court shot, right? Collin Gillespie hitting that game winner that we played for you at the beginning of the show changes everything about this game. Yep. And I know that sounds so stupid because we will get into the negative side of things. There was a lot of negatives, but Espo, good teams find ways to win games, and that is what this team is. This is a good basketball team.
As much as people wanted to complain, and probably rightfully so after that Atlanta game, what did they learn? Don't give up, keep fighting, find a way. And that's what tonight was, because you could have given up at any point in this fourth quarter. The second Devin Booker fouled out, you could have turned off that game, which I know some of you did. I saw that in the chat.
Lonnie with a 199 super chat saying me turning off the game is the way we won.
Dylan fouling out, could have turned off the game there, said it was over. You missed 3 of 4 free throws in the final 2 minutes. Could have said it was over then, but guess what? The team kept fighting because Jordan Ott says there's nothing that you will let get you down. That's the point that they've made all year. They were down, you could argue, their 4 best offensive players, with Jalen Green out because of injury, with Grayson Allen out because of injury, with Dylan Brooks and Devin Booker fouling out, and they still found a way. Jordan Goodwin, Collin Gillespie, all the other guys coming up big in this. Ayrton, do we have it? Can we open that drawer and then slam it shut because the Morg took another victim? The Minnesota Timberwolves are on that slab and the drawer is shut. The Morg is another place to play where the opponent can just not get it done. The Phoenix Suns take care of business at home. The Minnesota Vikings, the Minnesota Vikings, the Minnesota Twins, the Minnesota Timberwolves, the Minnesota Wild, they're all victims tonight at the Morg.
This felt good. Look, the Timberwolves have been a demon the Suns have not been able to exercise. And the vibes are amazing right now. We got Jonathan in the chat gifting 5 PHNX Sports memberships. Yeah. We got Calvin getting a membership. We got AIA Edits, who just rejoined us earlier in pregame, back. Getting a membership.
Let's set the new record. 75 gifted memberships in a night is our record. Let's beat it tonight. Let's celebrate like there's never been a celebration like this. The Phoenix Suns now have 10 wins. They've beaten Minnesota. Guess what? That's a good team. Everybody said they couldn't beat good teams. They did it tonight. They've won the first 2 in what was supposed to be a murderer's row of games. This team is good, and Collin Gillespie's having his breakout season right now.
Look, as of right now, the Phoenix Suns are 10-6, tied with the Minnesota Timberwolves now, and in the 6th seed in the Western Conference. That's 16 games into the season. That is a large sample size, by the way. They are just 1.5 games back from the San Antonio Spurs, who they're going to be playing here soon. But before that, let's just take a step back. Let's rewind here.
Can we? Let's rewind here for a second.
Let's rewind here for a second. I think it's very clear what our Love the Play presented by Arizona Lottery play and gift today if you are over the age of 21
let's show it again.
I mean, do you want to show it again?
Yeah, let's show it again.
Why not? Not only, Espo, is the Love to Play the actual floater by Collin to give him 20 points on the night, it's afterwards. They played defense. Minnesota didn't have a timeout because the refs gave them a BS one earlier. Didn't have a timeout. They missed the shot, and then what happens? The entire team converges at half court. And
then they show up for the post-game interview.
And you know what? You think back to other teams across Valley sports history. We talked about this when we talked about emotion in sports. The World Series Diamondbacks team, a connected team is a dangerous team. The Arizona State Big 12 Championship team, a connected team, an emotional team, a team that found ways to win games against all odds. This Suns team has got a little bit of both of those teams in them, where they aren't on paper the most talented, but they're all on the same page. They all clearly love each other. They love being around each other, and they don't care. They do not care if they're missing Jalen Green, who's been out basically the entire season. They don't care that they're missing Grayson Allen, who's been their second best player. They don't care if they're missing Devin Booker, even when he's on the court tonight. This is one of the worst Devin Booker games I've ever seen. Still had a double-double, but one of the worst Devin Booker games I've ever seen. Guess what? They still found a way to persevere through that. Dylan Brooks getting fouled out at the end. They find a way to persevere through that. This is a team that has it. They have an incredible mental makeup, and you got to talk about the players and head coach Jordan Knott. But at the end of the day, you need to have players who always believe they're in it. And Espo, the Love the Play is not just that final play. It is the sequence that led up to it.
Love the plays.
Because you don't get to that spot with Collin Gillespie if it is not for Jordan Goodwin and Collin Gillespie earlier making hustle plays, getting steals, playing good defense, and hitting tough shots.
Hitting that 3 that Jordan Goodwin hit.
And the layup that Jordan Goodwin hit.
Like this was just an all-around fight from those second. I mean, those were second unit guys, not
third
starters.
Unit guys in Collin Gillespie.
And Jordan Goodwin. I mean, and they just came out and they just worked. They grinded. They did not give up, and they did the little things defensively that have become their hallmark. And they should have lost this game.
Absolutely.
They did everything they could to lose this game. That was really what this game was about. And instead, in that final minute, they dug deep and they found everything they could to win it. This is a damn good team. And to quote Dylan Brooks, and since this is a quote, I will say it, that was dog shit. And that was not talking about what they did in the first 3 quarters and
I say the third quarter.
That third quarter. No, he was talking about what Collin Gillespie did. Yeah. That was dog, like he got that dog in him.
Yeah.
Stuff there.
Well, I mean, it's clear. I mean, we don't have to bury the lead. Let's go ahead and name our dude of the night presented by Gila River Resorts and Casinos. You do you at Gila River Resorts and Casinos. Visit playedgila.com for full details. Of course, it is Collin Dog Shit Gillespie with 20. He had just an awesome game tonight overall, the stats and the eye test. Collin Gillespie wasn't just the dude of the night. Collin Gillespie was the best player, bar none, for the Suns on the court before that game winner, but he ends the game off the bench in 34 minutes with 20 points, 7 of 12 from the field, 4 of 7 from deep, 2 of 2 from the free throw line, 7 rebounds, 4 assists, 2 steals, and a plus 14 and a 1-point victory.
And the 2 biggest cojones on the damn
the Sam
court
Cassell
tonight.
Sally.
Yeah, I mean, he just brought it. And that moment was not too big for him.
No.
You could tell he knew, I'm the one that's going to end this game for us. And he went in, and as Brian said, Connor! I mean, that was...
Yeah, Connor was alive and well.
That was beautiful by Collin. And, man, this kid, I mean, I told you, and I've said it multiple times, last year at Summer League, he looked us in the face and was like, I'm good enough to be the point guard this team needs. Yeah. Didn't get his chance last year, but guess what? He did it this year, and he is that guy right now.
He absolutely is that guy, and he is firmly in the middle of the Sixth Man of the Year conversation. He has been one of the most impactful players statistically and eye test-wise off the bench in the NBA this season. And we did a full episode on Collin Gillespie over the summer, literally an hour. We did an hour on Collin Gillespie. Some people are like, you can't do an hour on Collin Gillespie. But guess what? We're going to do an hour on this guy because he deserved it. And we talked about the fact that this guy is a proven bona fide winner at every stage in his career. National champion in college, one of the best players in college at Villanova, right? Goes to the NBA, undrafted, signs a two-way contract with the Nuggets. Guess what? Nuggets win a championship. Obviously, he's not a part of the rotation there, but he's in the organization. He makes his way in the G League. Yes,
and triple-double.
Triple-double. Finally gets a chance with the Suns. You think he's going to play. Guess what? Tyus Jones, Monte Morris, come on down. Collin Gillespie, you're in the G League. Guess what? You still show up. Triple-double. You get your opportunity at the end of last year. Suns fans are salivating for you to be in the starting lineup alongside all-time greats like Kevin Durant and Devin Booker because you make the biggest impact out of all these other vet minimum signings that you had signed before. You get your first ever full-time actual NBA contract this offseason, and the Suns forego signing one of the greatest point guards of all time in Chris Paul because they have faith in you. You show up, you earn it in camp, you get deemed villain junior, you are hitting game winners in camp, you're in the rotation, and you are one of the most solid and steady presences for this team all season. And guess what, Espo? He's just getting better. He has been better and better and better. Guess what? His off-the-movement threes were great, but his catch and shoot weren't great. Guess what? That number's going up. His playmaking is going up. His rebounding is going up. His shooting is at the point where I expect it to go in every time he shoots it. I mean, we are talking about one of the best bench players and one of the best spark plugs that we have seen in the NBA this season. And if he does this all year, Espo, we're talking about all-time Phoenix Suns six-man conversations for a single season.
I mean,
obviously they've had some six men of the year, but this would be if he plays like this.
Unbelievable game, unbelievable first 16 games from him. He is the guy that the second unit needed wholeheartedly, that they could have used last year and they just didn't use last year. He is a calming force when it comes to that second unit. He can score, he can distribute, he's tough-nosed on defense. He is the kind of guy that the Phoenix Suns this offseason said, this is going to be who we are. This is our DNA. And he is one of those guys that is showing you exactly what it means to be a Phoenix Sun. This is why when Matt Ishbia sat there and said, we're going to have guys that make you proud to be a Suns fan, that is what Collin Gillespie is, a guy that is making you proud to be a Phoenix Suns fan right now. And not just because of what he did tonight, but what he's done throughout this season. And it's a guy that wants to be here in Phoenix. Talked about it earlier today at practice. This is the real deal when it comes to guys that can help this team win now and in the future. Hit that like button. Yeah. I'm putting a 350 like goal out there, and I want to see you guys actually pull through and make it happen tonight as well for this team after what they were able to accomplish out there on the court. Craziest game I've ever witnessed.
Yeah, it's nuts.
A game that makes zero sense to me how they wound up winning, and one of the most exciting wins I can remember with this team.
Well, if you miss it, we did a watch along. You could always go back and watch the last couple of minutes on that. Highly entertaining.
Yeah, we freaked the hell out.
We did freak the hell out.
We rode the roller coaster.
Absolutely. That's what the watch alongs are for. I want to give a shout out to Bees, who's gifted a couple memberships here. 2 gifted memberships from Bees. Thank you so much. Really excited for all of our new members. You get access to exclusive emojis and exclusive content, extra parts of Steven's film breakdowns that he's releasing pretty much weekly here. We're going to get to your super chats. We'll probably do it on the other side of this break, honestly, because you deserve to celebrate this win with us as well. We'll get into the numbers. Steven will call in from the Morg.
You need to take a breath. It'll be great.
I mean, I can't. The Phoenix Suns have changed my life. Okay, this team has changed my life. Collin Gillespie has changed my likes. Look.
Just change your likes,
because people were talking about
if
likes
you
in
get
the
to 300 of them, it'll change his
350.
likes.
350. Guess what? I just hit the like button.
Look at you.
Let's keep talking Suns ball. Let's keep basking in the glory of a 114-113 victory. By the way, 114 points given up by the Minnesota Timberwolves tonight. Both of these teams were averaging 114 points per game allowed.
114.1.
Exactly,
so they
for
didn't
both of them.
They didn't hit it.
Well, I don't know if they could have hit the other one, but we are going to hit on everything that you want on the other side of this break.
I'm about to say on the other side of hard.
Yeah, no. Well, it's easy to get tickets with Game Time, and I can't imagine a place that you'd rather be on a Friday night than in that building, in the Mortgage Matchup Center in downtown Phoenix. And guess what? I get notifications on my phone saying, hey, Suns tickets prices have dropped. Guess what? They're still a lot cheaper than they have been the last couple of years. And they're always the cheapest with Game Time. I am a notorious cheapskate. You can ask my wife, ask my family, ask my friends. I'm always trying to find a way to save money. I always try to find a way to save money. And look, your purchase is not only covered with the most flexible customer service policy in the ticketing industry, but Game Time, if you find a lower price than what they have for their tickets, they will credit you 110% of the difference. Take the guesswork out of buying Phoenix Suns tickets with Game Time. Download the Game Time app, create an account, use code PHNX for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply, but again, create an account, redeem code PHNX for $20 off. Tap, ticket, go. Download the Game Time app today and save some money.
Gila River Resorts and Casinos. You do you, just like Collin Gillespie just did the Minnesota Timberwolves in. Go out there to one of their 4 Valley locations, Wild Horse Pass, Lone Butte, Vequiva, Santan Mountain. You're going to experience the best that not just the Valley has to offer, that the desert has to offer. And I'm even talking about that town that they call Sin City. No, the people at Gila River Resorts and Casinos are going to give you a better time. Those 4 casinos have 4,500 slots and live table games. Plus, you can catch all the action at the best sports books in the Valley. Why wouldn't you want to do it? You can go home and go big. From upscale to approachable, casual to classy, from bar to bar none, their selection of dining options are always in great taste, and you are going to love everything that they have to offer. So you do you at Gila River Resorts and Casinos. Visit playathgila.com for more details.
Hit the like button, hit that subscribe button, vote in the poll that I just put in our chat right now saying, are you feeling aligned? The options are yes, MFing yeah, or oh yeah. Those are the 3 options you have for if you're feeling aligned as the Phoenix Suns pull off one of the craziest wins that I've ever seen.
Easily.
Maybe the craziest win in NBA Cup history.
Maybe. I mean, that's a short history. You know what? You guys were saying things are more special when it comes to the Cup, and I gave you a hard time. You know what? The Cup, it's more special, and guess what? They're leading their group right now. They're 2-0.
Yeah, they're leading their group, and at the same time, they are now the 6th seed in the Western Conference. The Suns win 114-113 behind just a miraculous sequence of events at the end of the 4th quarter there between Collin Gillespie, a couple other players that we'll get to here in a second. I do want to let everybody know, though, if you are loving the vibe here at PHNX and you're also an ASU fan, we have a live ASU Sun Devils post-game show this upcoming Friday at Loco Patron, courtesy, of course, the Captain Morgan himself. You can join me, Totri, and Shane, who got that beautiful video of Collin Gillespie out at Loco Patron on Mill Ave, just about 30 minutes to an hour after the final for the Territorial Cup. So come out there, go phnx.com/events. But we're not here to talk about ASU.
No, we're here because we're so aligned right now. And if you want the aligned shirt, you can go to gophnx.com and check out our merch locker.
I would like to put some people on game, though. Go add it to your cart and save it. There's a certain thing coming up next week. that you might
No,
want
go
to
buy it
get
right
ready.
now and then buy more next week.
I want to listen, Notorious Cheapskate here. I want you guys to be able to save money. We got some big coming this week. So get your list together of all the shirts and PHNX merch you want at our locker. Go to gophnx.com to check that out. Let's get to some super chats. We'll get to Blue Collar Boy. We'll get to Buy the Numbers.
Oh, we got lots of super chats.
We have so many, and I
Holy
want to give them
hell.
love. And before we get into the actual super chats themselves, we have from Math to the Power of Joe, a member for 2 months, saying defense, don't give up, fight for rebounds, clutch buckets. This is all I ever wanted in a Suns team. If you're a member, every month that you are there, you get a prepaid super chat. This one from Math to the Power of Joe.
And I agree. Jordan Ott, Matt Ishbia, freaking Brian Gregory all deserve apologies from so many people in the Valley for the crap that they talked about them. This team is delivering on everything that they were promising.
Yeah. Look, and here's the thing. I think a lot of people who went out and said that there was no chance that they could do this definitely owe them an apology. But let's be honest here, not just in Phoenix, but across the NBA. You hear this. I was listening to some national NBA podcasts earlier. Every team in the offseason says what the Phoenix Suns said. We're going to play fast. We're going to play hard. We're going to play good defense. We're going to try hard. We're going to do all of this. It's all lip service. And we heard it for years.
Yeah, they did it. And they're doing it.
And then they followed it up, which is the most impressive thing. I mean, top to bottom, everything that Matt Ishbia and the Phoenix Suns said they were going to do so far, 16 games through the season, they're absolutely doing it. And I don't see it trailing
Everybody
off.
goes, 20 games is the mark. We're pretty damn close to 20 games right now. This is not make-believe that we're playing here.
By the way, 9-1 in their last 10. And the Suns, just so we're all aware, started the season 1-4, folks, and now they're 10-6.
Yep.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Let's get to some more super chats here from TV Remote in rupees, 200 rupees. Thank you, TV Remote, who clarifies the currency.
Rupees?
Rupees.
Oh, rupees.
Yes,
All right.
not paying in rubies.
Right.
Collin Gillespie is the Minnesota Timberwolves father.
Who's your daddy, Minnesota? His name's Collin Connor Gillespie. All right.
Oh my goodness, I can't stop smiling. I believe this is Michael. It's your ats in here. I'm trying to remember based off the profile picture. I believe this is Michael in the chat. Says, I believe in this team without Booker. Look, Book was crap tonight, but he's still the best player on the team.
He was the other version of what.
He was dumb tonight.
Yeah.
But it is a great testament to everybody else that not only are they
100%.
stepping up without Booker, without Brooks to end the possession, because Dylan Brooks is taking that shot if he's in the game at the end. But without Jalen Green, Grayson Allen. I mean, these are starters. That's 4/5 of your starting lineup.
And they're most of your offensive firepower too.
Except for you got Connor on your side. We got Bobby in the chat with a bunch of dog bones saying, dogs, let's effing go. That's right. $1.99. Thank you, Bobby. PBTR out with a $4.99 super chat. Thank you. Says the Suns are straight up demons. They're dogs and demons.
Joshua with the $5 super chat says, I made the kids wait to get tucked in tonight. What a freaking game. Go Suns.
That's great parenting.
I hope you let them watch it with you. Otherwise, that's dereliction in your parenting there. Buddha the Schizo with the $1.99 super chat says, I accidentally woke up wifey with my celebration. What was wifey doing asleep?
Yeah.
She should have been watching with you. That was history that you watched there.
That was history that you watched. But you know what? It's okay. You can show her the highlights later or just tell her to watch the PHNX Suns postgame show. Bees, who's also gifted some memberships. Thank you so much, Bees. With a $2 super chat says, Collin Gillespie 12, a.k.a. Baby Nash, owns the T-Wolves. Can we just... The Timberwolves have been a thorn in the side of the Phoenix
They've won 8
Suns
straight if you count the playoffs.
Yeah, since the playoffs 2 seasons ago, right? Before that, we owned the Minnesota Timberwolves. Mm-hmm. We were all excited about playing them in the playoffs.
To be fair, everybody owned the Minnesota Timberwolves for most of their history.
Until they hit the playoffs. And since then, there's been this shift. Mm-hmm. And the Timberwolves have gotten... Look, last year, Julius Randle pushed off on Josh Okogie to hit a game-winning 3. I thought the same crap was going to happen tonight when he's dribbling down the court to take a shot at the end. The basketball gods favored the Phoenix Suns tonight, and I think part of that is the way that they approach and they play it. Because the basketball gods can see They can see when you are treating the game right. And the Phoenix Suns, unlike the last couple of years, are not offending the basketball gods with their play.
Look, Collin Gillespie told Santa Claus to shove this down your chimney, all right? Yeah. And they won the game. And Russell Smith says, suck it, Ant. Suck it, Chris Finch. Suck it, Rudy Gobert. And suck it, refs.
That part.
The refs wanted Minnie to win. And guess what? Collin freaking Gillespie said, hell no. He has that dog in him. And then Huffy emoji, devil emoji, Huffy emoji, devil emoji.
The refs were really bad tonight. Like, it
wasn't. Yeah, the refs. But the Suns did it to themselves.
But here's the thing. The Suns dig in their own way. And we are going to talk about the negatives of this game because they do
deserve
to get met. They do deserve to get mentioned.
We'll do that in hour 3 of the post-game show.
Yeah, in hour 3. But the refs were really bad. Tribe 7 even says with the $2 super chat, he's our Cameron Payne.
He's better than Cameron.
Yeah.
Sorry to say.
And I love what Cam Payne brought to that team was unique and was special. Collin is a more well-rounded player than what Cam Payne was at his peak. At least from what we've seen, I think Cam had more of a sustained stretch here in Phoenix. But I don't see Collin Gillespie going anywhere. Even when Green and Grayson are back, even when Book is on, this guy's going to get his own. He's going to get it every night.
He's an integral part of the rotation, regardless of what other guards are here. And it may open up other opportunities for this team to explore things if they decide to be a buyer around the trade deadline as well, because he is a guy that deserves rotational minutes and will get them the rest of the way. Kevin from Mesa says, CG, Villain Jr., Bowser Jr., the Professor. I think those are all worthy nicknames.
Or is it the Processor?
The Processor.
The Processor.
I like that. Sorry.
Processor kind of rips.
Reading is not exactly fundamental for me this evening.
We read Lonnie's earlier.
We read Lonnie's earlier. Jeff said for the $2 chat says, this team so far has been my favorite since the 1993 team.
Jeff,
I do remember some of those 7 seconds or less teams that maybe I got as excited for, but this is the unexpected nature of this takes it to a different level, and the tenacity takes it to a different level.
I think obviously this one, and then you got that 2020, 2021 team that's super fun. They went to the finals. They were fun. Nobody expected them to go to the finals that year or be that good coming off of the bubble. And then before that, it's that 13-14 season, right, where they came out of nowhere. And I know this is different, but I'm just saying that kind of captures that same feeling of like, how are they this good?
But when I said that in the summer, that I thought this team could look a lot like that team, I got laughed at. Well, guess what? They do look a lot like that team. No expectations coming out of the gate, playing strong, having a deep bench. This team's even better, I think, than what I was expecting, and I had pretty damn high expectations compared to others. They've been doing everything. So
I mean, I had the Suns to win 43 games this season, and they are outperforming what I predicted.
Yeah, but you also laughed at Brian Gregory. So
I didn't laugh at Brian Gregory. I doubted.
You questioned that and Jordan Ott. So I
will say I doubted for sure. But again, misquoting me.
Some of us have always been on that bandwagon.
See, the thing is, both of us were sitting in the same place, and you can paint it in the light of, I think people were fine expressing doubts because there were things that happened, and based off of history, doubts in the decision making. But every time I talked about it, and you can go back and pull the tape. Luckily, we got cameras that record everything. I said, but guess what? None of it could matter because they could still end up doing good. We have to let them do their job. And then guess what?
Freckle Mama, do we have that clip of him? No, I'm just kidding.
You can pull the clip. And then throughout the summer, and you can track this because I know people were telling me, Eric, you switched up on what you're saying before. When free agency hit, when the draft hit, when all of that hit, you change your mind, you accept what happened, and you give them the space to earn. And they had to earn it back because, like me, they lost a ton of Suns fans with the pile of crap they put together the last couple of years. And that was top to bottom. And guess what? Through 16 games, not only do they have me thrilled, they have all these fans thrilled. And it's okay to have your doubts about these things because there should have been doubts. They did not earn the benefit of the doubt.
Get on the bandwagon. Should have been here. Let's keep it going. What else do we got to talk about? Do we want to finish the super chats right now, or do we want to get into other stuff?
Let's save them.
All right.
We got some great super chats coming up. We'll get to those in a second. Before we get to our final break here, I do want to give our blue collar boy of the night to the incomparable Jordan Goodwin.
Who supposedly has a broken nose
Apparently he does, but guess what? He broke the Timberwolves at the end of the game, getting steals, hitting threes, hitting layups, 13 points for him, 6 and 9 from the field. I was waiting for you to say nice. 6 rebounds, 4 assists.
I've evolved,
as well.
my friend.
No, you haven't.
I just missed it.
You're just doing 6-7.
I just missed it. Sorry.
But look, Jordan Goodwin, and I said this on the watch along. By the way, 2 steals tonight as well. Has probably the best dollar to value ratio in the entire NBA. His contract isn't even guaranteed, and he is a key cog to this team right now, to the point that when they are fully healthy, they have to find minutes for him.
I believe him and Collin are making the same. They both have a...
But his is Collin's is guaranteed.
Collins is guaranteed, but they both... There's this whole bench is a bunch of undervalued talent, but a hell of a game by Jordan Goodwin, and without him, they lose by 8 in that fourth quarter at the end. He did all the little things, broke his nose in the process, it sounds like, and still just was out there fighting with it alongside his team. I'm going to say it.
Say it.
The Suns won the Bradley Beal trade.
Yeah, there you go.
Because Jordan Goodwin's back.
So off the we're talking bench scoring here. 9 points for Naz Reid, 3 points for Mike Conley, 5 points for Rob Dillingham, 1 point for Jalen Clark. That's less than 20 points, by the way. That's 18 points off the bench on the entirety of the Minnesota Timberwolves. Collin Gillespie had 20. Jordan Goodwin had 13. That's 33 points between the two of them. I mean, to have that type of production off the bench in a game that is decided by 1 point, where, again, we mentioned it before, fouling out, and Book having a bad game, like, that is just a testament to those two guys specifically embodying what this entire team is about. Yeah. Speaking of our team here, it keeps on growing bigger. Stat Tricks, welcome to the MVP. I'm hoping or assuming that's a playoff of Amari and Matrixes.
MVP,
and we are going to be back on the other side of our second break. Look, if you feel like a winner now, guess what? You can feel like more of a winner when you tap in with Mint Mobile. Most holiday gifts end up in a drawer or the back of a closet or accidentally left at your cousin's house, but not this one. Mint Mobile is offering unlimited premium wireless for just $15 a month. That's their best deal of the year, aka the only holiday gift you will actually use. Mint Mobile's best deal of the year is happening right now. Get a 3, 6, or 12-month unlimited plan for $15 a month, and all Mint plans come with high-speed data and unlimited talk and text on the nation's largest 5G network. Plus, you can bring your current phone and number over to Mint Mobile. No contracts, no nonsense, but just the best service for the best price. Don't get them socks. Get them premium wireless for $15 a month. Shop Mint Unlimited plans at mintmobile.com/suns. That's mintmobile.com/suns. Limited time offer. Upfront payment of $45 for 3 months, $90 for 6 months, and $180 for 12 months. Plan required. Taxes and fees are extra. Initial plan term only. Greater than 35 gigabytes may slow when network is busy. Capable device required. Availability, speed, and coverage vary. See mintmobile.com.
If you're like me, you use technology to make things easier. I mean, it just makes sense. And why wouldn't you do that when it comes to your energy costs? You can manage them with a smart thermostat. It's one of the best things I've done in my home because you know what? Arizona's weird. We know it. It's 50-something today. It's going to be in the mid-70s next week. How the hell do you know where to set your thermostat and how you can actually keep your energy costs efficient with that? Well, you can get a smart thermostat like I did. You can set it up automatically and help you save. APS customers get a smart thermostat from as low as $0. It doesn't get any lower than that unless they're paying you to do something. Visit aps.com/sale. Shipping and taxes not included. Other restrictions apply. Check it out.
Hit the like button, hit that subscribe button. 350 is our like goal. We have more than enough of you in here to hit that. We'll hear from Devin Booker on Collin Gillespie here in a moment. But first, I'd like to get to the numbers presented by Desert Financial Credit Union, Arizona's #1 credit union, named by Forbes. Listen, Espo, we say it all the time, and it absolutely means the most tonight, but the most important number, of course, 114-113. The Phoenix Suns take down the Minnesota Timberwolves. But other than that, It's an interesting statistical night all around.
None of it makes sense.
No.
The Suns shoot better than the Wolves. They shot 48% till the Wolves 45%, but the Suns were 39 of 81, and the Wolves were 39 of 86. 5 more shots there, and at one point late in the fourth, it was 10 more shots that they had. Suns shot 45% from deep. You heard that right. 45%. They were 14 to 31. The Timberwolves had 37 three-pointers, but only hit 12 of them tonight. Free throw discrepancy. You would have thought this was much bigger, but the Suns were 22 of 29. They hit 75%. The Wolves, 23 of 33, 69%. Nice. There you go. I got it this time. Rebounds, 45 for the Suns, 37 for the Timberwolves. Would have thought that was not in the Suns' favor. And assists, Suns had 25 to 18 for the Wolves. But the number that isn't on here but was a big impact tonight was the turnovers for both teams. And this was the one that you thought was going to do the Suns in. 27 for the Suns.
I got 28.
I have 27 on the final here. And 19 for Minnesota on the evening. That right there should have done the Suns in.
It should have. I don't know. We're both on ESPN right now. I have 28 to 22. Either way, a vast amount of turnovers for the Suns. And we talked about this on the watch-along, Espo. Even early in the game, Minnesota was not doing a good job converting off of those turnovers. And the Suns were making mistakes. Minnesota didn't capitalize. And then for that stretch in the third quarter there, Minnesota did capitalize on the Suns' mistakes.
That's how they got back in it.
And then it was vice versa at the end. You know, we look at the numbers as a whole, and I think it's a good time to talk about the team as a whole, because going into the season, it was all this team needs Devin Booker to go absolute God mode to win on most nights. He needs to be in MVP mode, Armani mode, 30 plus points, 8 plus assists, 5 plus rebounds, shooting 50, 40, 90. And to win a game that not only team-wise statistically you had no business winning, but also to the point where you look at the box score, and yeah, we look at Devin Booker's box score. He didn't play great. You also didn't have him to close the game. He would have taken that shot if he was in the game. You don't have Jalen Green. You don't have Grayson Allen. You don't have Dylan Brooks, who would have taken that shot if he was in to end the game. You not having 4 of your 5 starters coming into the season, and your only starter being your center that was in, and Mark had a good game tonight, and finding a way to beat a Timberwolves team that has and Anthony Edwards that went for 41 points tonight, Julius Randle, who dropped 20, Rudy Gobert, who was dominant interiorly, dropping 12 and 12 with 7 offensive rebounds, which is just crazy. Jaden McDaniels had a good defensive night, hit some big shots. Dante DiVincenzo steps up in the fourth quarter. Everything was pointing Minnesota's way.
But the weird thing is, it really wasn't when you look at it. The Suns had more offensive rebounds. It was literally just the turnovers that were doing them in. And down the stretch in that last 2 minutes, they stopped turning it over. They forced turnovers. They got to the line and hit their free throws where Minnesota didn't. Ant went to the line and choked. I mean, he full out choked, missing 2 of them to keep the Suns in this and with a chance to win down there. Like, the weird thing is, if you took out the turnovers and the points off of turnovers, everything says the Suns should have won this game tonight. It is weird.
When you look at the eye test, though, like, when you watch that game, you and I said it. We're like, they had no business. They got no business being up. They have no business.
Not at the
only
end,
being down 5, right? And a 33-point third quarter was very reminiscent of what you saw on Sunday. And what did we say about Sunday against the Hawks? You got to learn and you got to respond. Mm-hmm. Well, Tuesday, they responded, right? They said, okay, great. You showed up, national TV, on the road, took care of Portland, who's a bad team and injured at the time. Easy money. That's what good teams do. Okay, next game, Friday, at home, cup game against a team right above you in the standings. They go up on a 33-point run in the third quarter, and you don't break. You learn from that.
You came close.
You weather the storm in the fourth quarter, too, and you outscore them by 2. By 2 in the fourth quarter, and that's all you needed to win by 1.
Yeah.
That is learning situationally from the bench guys. The starters didn't even have a chance to prove that. And honestly, the way the bench was playing, that was for the better.
Yeah, I mean, this is all about resiliency. And it was now their 7th straight game that they've had an 18-point or more lead. In 2 of those, they've blown said lead. Yeah. But now They lost one, but they learned, like you said, they won this one.
Yeah.
And guess what? The Phoenix Suns are a better team than the Minnesota Timberwolves this year.
Top to bottom.
The Timberwolves have not won a game against a team over 500. They haven't. And the Suns got the one against the Spurs, which was a truly impressive victory, and they found a way to win this one. The Phoenix Suns are pretty damn good, and tonight should have been a double-digit win if they had just protected the ball the way they had. This was hearkening back to the mistakes that they made last year, but the difference is this team has heart and found a way to overcome their mistakes rather than succumbing to them like they have over the last few years.
Bend don't break is a term used a lot in sports. This team embodies it. Aaron Wilson in the chat, one of our members here all the time, says, instead of focusing on Booker having a rare bad game, let's focus on the fact that we can beat a top team when Book has a bad game. And
Which
again,
has not been the case in most years.
I mean, no, look, you look at last year. If Kevin Durant or Devin Booker didn't have a great game, the Suns had no chance. There was never a game where you're like, you know who really won the Suns that game? Tyus Jones. No.
You know how many different guys we've had this year that you're like, that guy is why.
Okay, if I told you, Espo, that 16 games into the season, we would have seen 30 minutes of Jalen Green. We would have missed 5 or 4 games of Dylan Brooks. We've now missed, 3 games from Grayson Allen. If I told you all of that, plus no Kaman, no Rasheer, like really none of these like young guys stepping up and being able to play, if I told you that, would you think the Suns are 10-6?
No, I would have said that something's catastrophically gone wrong because you didn't know what to expect from this bench. But I think what Jordan Knott's been really good at is getting everybody to buy into a system, but instilling confidence in guys down lower on the roster. Guys that in the last 2 years would have been in and out of lineups, wouldn't have had a consistent role, wouldn't have known what their role is on this team. Jordan Knott has made it very clear to each of these guys that what their role is and that he believes in them to go out there. I mean, they told Collin earlier in the year, take more shots. You're not taking enough shots. Well, guess what? That pays off now because he goes out there, he's aggressive all game, and then is in a spot where he wins the game for you because of that aggressiveness, because of that comfortability, and because of the fact that you have shown your belief in him. And Jordan Goodwin's the same way. Yeah. You gave him leash, and you let him go out there, and you let him do the things that he's best at, and it pays dividends in a situation like this where you can't rely on Devin Booker, where you can't rely on Dylan Brooks, where Jalen and Grayson are out hurt. You have guys that you can trust because you've given them belief. And you can even say that some of that with Oso Ighodaro has been the case as well. Showing belief in guys pays off in situations like this.
They also have to be good, right? You can believe in a guy. You can believe in a guy all you want, but at a certain level, you got to have that inside of you.
But I think that you can have guys that without belief, like if a coach does not show that, you can shake their
especially
confidence.
your end of bench guys or whatever.
You're in and out of a lineup. It can screw with
the rookies last year.
It can screw 100%. With a lot of guys, and I think that's not a knock on a particular guy. It's just that's a tough position to be in, and especially if you've been in that, the coach doesn't show you belief.
Hey, are we here?
Are we here? Can you hear us? We're back.
We here?
All right.
Can you hear us?
Let's just keep going. We'll keep going.
I hope you can hear us. I think we are. Yeah, we're back. Okay.
I think the belief. I think the belief that Jordan Ott showed in these guys had a lot to do with it, and being able to step into this situation in a high pressure, high leverage situation against a good team to find a win.
Without a doubt, it gets the most. But and I'm not disagreeing with you. It's more like you're baking the meal and I'm throwing some like garlic powder and stuff on it, just adding a little seasoning.
Thrown it in before?
No, I don't know how to season.
All right, I don't know how to cook. So,
but it's like you're throwing in some extra spices of. You can believe in a guy all you want, but if the guy's bad at basketball, like overall, like the belief might make him better, but he's not going to be this good. All these guys have their own unique skills, and you're right with Oso. I think Oso tonight didn't have a loud game, but he's coming off of a stretch of his best games of the season. And you see guys impact the game in different ways as well. Look, this has been so much fun, and obviously it all starts with and ends with how the game ended, which was Collin Gillespie having his moment and hitting the game winner. This is what Devin Booker had to say about Collin Gillespie getting his moment at the Morg tonight.
we've seen that same recipe a lot this summer. I think the Suns posted a few clips. He had a few game winners on us this summer too, so no surprise. Poise, just his whole demeanor, man. He's taking advantage of his opportunity to the fullest. We're all rallying behind him, and he's just a dog.
He's just a dog.
Just everybody's a dog. You know, and that we're all rallying behind him. I want to dive into that, and I want to say specifically why that phrase has a lot of weight to it. But I'm going to tell you exactly why it has a lot of weight to it on the other side of our final break. If you were watching the game, which I'm assuming most of you were, you saw a wonderful commercial featuring, of course, one half of the Gauchos, Oso Iguodaro, representing Mountain America Credit Union.
That now Oso and I have Chandler in common, growing up there, and
Mountain America
for
Credit
Mountain
Union.
America Credit Union.
Well, there you go. Well, Oso Iguodaro has a My Style checking account that has perks just for Oso. But guess what? It's not just for Oso. It's also for you.
I think the number he has in there is probably bigger
He
than
probably,
ours,
yeah. But guess what? You still get the restaurant deals, mobile phone protection, telehealth access, identity protection, loan rate discounts, offers on travel and events, and more. Hell, you get all that, and so does Oso. You can get a personalized Suns card as well, exclusive to Mountain America Credit Union. Make my style your lifestyle the same way that Oso Iguodaro makes my style his lifestyle at Mountain America Credit Union. Visit macu.com/mystyle to apply. Insured by NCUA. Membership required based on eligibility. Some benefits require no cost registration and activation. Terms, conditions, and exclusions apply.
You know, I know it's going to be late when I leave here, but I think I'm stopping at Circle K. I need a celebratory something. I'm starting to lose my voice, actually. So if you want me here Sunday, I might have to stop for something for the voice on the way home. And you should stop at Circle K anytime. I don't care if it's day, night, early morning, late afternoon, whenever. You should stop there. You should be a member of the Inner Circle. It's super easy. All you got to do is download that Circle K app, put in a little bit of information, and bam, you are part of the Inner Circle. You know what that means? You're going to save 25 cents off per gallon in your first 5 fill-ups. Then you're going to save 3 cents off per gallon, and then you're going to hit that Espo level. Actually, we call it the Freckled Mamba level now. And when you hit that, you're going to save 5 cents off per gallon. That's not all, though. From time to time, they'll have a fuel day, and they had one yesterday, 40 cents off per gallon when those happen, plus 79-cent Polar Pops, 99-cent Froster. So why wouldn't you want to be a part of it? Join the Inner Circle today for free by downloading the Circle K app. Terms and conditions apply like everything in life. At participating locations, visit CircleK.com for details.
We got so many of you in here, we crashed our streaming system. Thanks all for being here. Hit the like button.
Hidden Sun Village, me sorry that I did not know Nookie Monster for ad read, but I read that just for you. You have good night now.
Have a good night. Hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, become a member today, like Sean, like Melissa, like Big Watts. They get access to exclusive emojis and all of Steven's extra breakdowns as well. Plus, you can gift.
Not mental basketball
extra
breakdowns.
Plus, you can gift memberships as well. We will get to your super chats in a second, but Espo, one of the things that Devin Booker said in that about Collin Gillespie and him having his moment is we're all rallying behind him. If you follow at PHNX_Suns on Twitter, or you were watching the NBC postgame show instead of the Suns postgame show, here, shame on you. But you would have heard Devin Booker, when just asked about this team in general, talk about the Phoenix Suns this year. And he said, we're a young group of guys, we're having fun, and we're all rallying behind Coach. Now, tonight, he says we're all rallying behind Collin Gillespie. And the reason why that holds weight is because when you hear quotes from last year's team of not everybody was on the same page, not everybody had the same goals, it's not enough just to get along with the guys on your team. You have to have a shared purpose and to rally behind each other, to be invested in each other, in your coach, and in one common goal of proving every one of your doubters wrong. That is enough to fuel a game like tonight on a micro level, and on a macro level, help you put together a season that hopefully becomes one of the best and biggest surprises in the association this year.
Yeah, they're young, dumb, and full of belief in each other.
Yes.
And that is what you need in these kind of situations. And Devin has rarely had guys that he can rely on, guys that he knows if he has an off night that they're going to pick him up.
Yeah.
That was what tonight was, because there's no doubt his shooting was abysmal tonight. But what happened? His teammates picked him up. He had 10 assists, so he helped get them involved, but they picked him up when he fouled out. They picked up Dylan Brooks when he fouled out. This team is deeper than we've seen in a while, and they all are galvanized. They all are aligned. They all believe in each other, and that is such a key part to this. People underrate that. And in an analytics world, especially in basketball, it's easy to look at the numbers and see how it works. And I'll tell you this story. When I was working for the Suns, we had an employee retreat. And the analytics department sat there and showed us the analytics of why bringing in Isaiah Thomas made so much sense. The analytics said this is going to be a three-headed monster. This is going to be unbelievable. The analytics. And you know what it didn't take into account? The personal side of it. Yeah. The way that they would come together as a group. How would it work as people? And this team is predicated as much on how does this work as a group of people becoming one as it is how do the numbers make sense from the individual perspective. Yeah. It is so important and it can't be overlooked. That is such a key to any leadership, and Jordan Ott has these guys figuring out how to play for each other.
Well, speaking of Jordan Ott, let's go ahead and hear from, by my money, somebody squarely in the race for the Coach of the Year conversation, 16 games into the season. There's a lot left to go, but he spoke about what a win like tonight says about the type of team his Phoenix Suns are.
Yeah, just tough, gritty, competitive, together, selfless. That's what we have seen from this group since day one. And whatever it takes, whenever it takes, whoever's out there, just find a way to outscore the opponent. And, this is something that we'll, these wins are big for the group, big for our what we're doing. But it doesn't stop. Tomorrow's going to be a day that we're going to review it and continue to get better because we got a big weekend ahead.
It doesn't stop. We've got a big weekend ahead. I love this mentality. It's never we're going to sit in this, and whether it's a win or a loss, it's no. On to the next one. We've got to focus because there's important things. They know the Spurs game, that Houston game on Monday, these are just as important as anything you accomplished in the last two. And that's the mentality. On to the next one, get the job done. And I love that's what Jordan Ott's bringing. He's going to break down this film and they're going to correct those mistakes from a turnover perspective. And you just keep going on.
Well, that's what's perfect about this game specifically is as much as we want to lament the bad things that happened, there's no getting happy on the farm, according to a former coach from this game.
Hey, we do not bring in the past. This is oddball.
I'm just saying there's no leaving this game satisfied. You won the game. You're happy. You have your moment. Guess what? Tomorrow you're going to sit down and coach is going to rip into you. Because this team did some stupid crap tonight. Just downright stupid basketball.
I don't think that Jordan Ott is a rip into you.
Okay, but like it show you what you did wrong.
But there was talk today, I believe it was at Shoot Around, about how these guys, everybody has a voice in the film room. Yeah. Everybody's talking and they're going through things. I think Jordan Ott's mentality is the same mentality they're all going to bring in tomorrow when they look at this film. They're going to say, we didn't do well enough. How do we clean this up? And they're going to work as a group to make those corrections. I think that's the mentality. That's the thing about this team that makes it different. They don't need coach to rip into their ass because they know that the mistakes were there and they want to clean it up as much as Jordan Ott does.
Yeah, look, this team is aligned. They're connected. They like each other. They're smart basketball players. And the thing is, this is a young group. There's a lot of young guys in there. You got Ryan Dunn. You have Oso, Iguodaro, Jalen Green is young. Collin is in his mid-20s. But look at some of the experience this roster has, right? Collin Gillespie's won a championship now, and he's seen a team win a championship in the NBA. I believe he has a ring for it. Devin Booker's been to the finals. Dylan Brooks has been a part of multiple playoff runs that have not ended that great. Jalen Green was on the number 2 seed in the Western Conference last year. They got bounced in the second round. These are guys that can keep in mind the big picture. Jordan Ott just had one of the best regular seasons in Cleveland Cavaliers history, had a historic first round offensively. Guess what? They're out before the conference finals. These are a group of very talented and experienced players as well who understand the long run here. Grayson Allen has made deep playoff runs. Like, these are guys that know 16 games into the season really doesn't mean jack squat. But right now, it means a lot to build this foundation if you continue to build up off of it. Nobody is going to take their foot off the gas after this. It's just going to encourage them to hit it even more.
Well, and it speaks to the mentality that I don't think they're looking beyond 1 or 2 games in front of them either, that they're locked in. And I love Jordan Ott talking there. He struck me like a conspiracy theorist wants to look for every detail. He wants to get in that film and find every little thing. I could only imagine how many times he rewatches a game before the next time they step on court and work together. And this guy has an attention to detail. I said it before, but I think they benefit greatly from the fact that he started in the film room and that attention to detail that comes with that, having to be a video coordinator, and talking to Petey, who used to be a part of the staff that was the video coordinator and coach for the Coyotes, what you have to go through with that. I think it has given a mindset to Jordan Ott that's benefiting this team so far.
Speaking of the team, I want to also hear from Jordan Goodwin, who spoke about his confidence in Collin to hit that last shot.
I was very confident. The whole team was confident. So when we broke the huddle, you heard everybody saying, "Come on, Collin, go ahead and bring us home." But I mean, he deserves it. He goes in there, he works hard every day. Been with him for a long time in the summer. I actually been in that second unit in training camp all summer with each other, so I know exactly what Collin can do. So I wasn't surprised. I'm just happy that he had his moment tonight.
I think everybody is just happy that he had his moment tonight. Let's hear from the guy as well. Collin Gillespie on how the Suns were able to get back into the game.
Yeah, just flying around. It's a cup game, so there's money on the line, so that was really important. But yeah, I mean, just fighting till the last second, like I said, flying around, trying to get some steals, anything to get us back in the game. I think we got a steal on an inbounds pass, then Goody hit a 3, and then kind of just running around causing chaos and creating havoc, and then Goody got another steal and laid it up, and then I think Royce got a steal. I don't even know how it happened. It happened really quick, but no quit, just continue to fight, and it was a really good win for us.
He didn't even know how it happened. We didn't even know how it happened, but we know at the end of the game, the play was drawn up for Collin Gillespie or Collin Gillespie, whoever it was at the time.
Or dog shit.
It's like if J.J. McCarthy's 9 was actually a good alter ego, is Collin. This is Collin on if he was surprised that the last play was drawn up for him.
I wasn't really shocked because Dylan was fouled out and Book had fouled out already. And I think it was just going to be try to get me to my right hand, make a play. I told Ryan before we came out of the huddle, I said, make sure you go to the offensive glass because I was going to try and get it on the rim. If I missed it, have guys there to put it back in, tip it back in because we were only down 1. So I didn't want to try and settle, but Gobert was down there, so I had to take kind of like a little floater mid-range. But I was telling guys, make sure you go to the glass, try to get a tip in if this doesn't go in.
He has that same temperament that Jordan Ott does.
For sure.
This dude just hit a giant game winner. This dude was just part of a massive comeback. It's like, yeah, Rudy Gobert was down there. I just had to hit that floater, you know.
Yeah.
I love this team
They're
and their
awesome.
approach to things and how they handle it. I love it. It's so much fun.
It's genuinely one of a kind. I mean, I know that there are teams that have had similar feelings and whatnot before, but this is a very unique experience that we're having as Suns fans right now with like a franchise legend. By some people's money, the greatest player in franchise history. I know some people will say Barkley, some people will say Nash, some people will go even more old school, Walter Davis. But this is for a lot of people either their favorite Sun of all time or who they believe to be the greatest Phoenix Sun of all time, right? Who's just entering his real middle of his prime. You've got young guys you could be excited about, a new head coach you could be excited about, a team that loves each other, and like this bitter taste in your mouth beforehand that makes the sweet taste that much sweeter. So it's so much fun. And I'm so grateful for this team, and I'm grateful for the people who are dropping their super chats. Just to pull back a curtain.
I feel like we need to call them Valley Psychos.
The Valley Psychos?
I think these groups,
I
mean, this and the movie Psycho was actually, part of it was filmed here. So
there
it works.
You go.
They feel like the Valley Psychos. They just
the team?
seem, the team.
Maybe that's a shirt.
They feel
like
they're
that's a
just,
shirt in like the Valley.
Yeah, I just feel like they're kind of they
The
got
Valley
that
Psychos?
that mental approach to it.
Speaking of approaching things, usually we approach super chats here. We read them, we put them up on the screen. However, we've also been thrown a curveball today, and when our stream died, we lost all your super chats in our streaming service. Now, Leah Merrill to the rescue. Took screenshots in the back end. Head of content, Leah Merrill, took screenshots in the back end of your super chats. So we will be reading them off of our devices. We will not be able to show them on screen. So just want to give you a heads up there, but we are going to still get to all your super chats. So while we're waiting for Steven to check in from the afterlife, let's go ahead and get into it. This first one from AIA Edits, who is back after finally finding a new home with a $4.99 super chat, says, this team honestly reminds me of last year's Pacers and how both teams would never give up and keep fighting. I see it.
I can see it.
I see it for sure.
Definitely. And man, we could only hope to see that kind of success. I'm not going to get carried away, but
sure.
I'm going to enjoy how fun this is. I'm going to let you handle these because I can't keep track of exactly where you are.
And I'll say this about the expectations thing and the Pacers. I think we as a fan base, as a show, need to find this happy balance of acknowledging the great things about this team and maybe making some comparisons to some good teams and great moments that we've seen from the franchise or outside of it, while also understanding that this team right now is not a championship contender. Just enjoy it. Just have fun.
Enjoy it. How fun was this moment? I don't care what you do. This moment is one of those that we're going to look back and we go, that was a hell of a game.
100%.
For years, you're going to remember that. Some kid just watched one of their first Suns games tonight, and they're going to remember that moment as that kind of defining moment why they became a Suns fan. Let's just enjoy it. I don't care what else is to come. Let's just keep enjoying when these moments arise.
Bees with a $2 super chat. Thank you, Bees. Says the T-Wolves got snatch attacked by alignment. There we go.
Hey!
StatTricks 2012 with the $10 super chat. Thanks, StatTricks. Says, woo! That's all super chat. The next one, do you have these pulled up, Freckled Mamba?
I do have them pulled up. We got $5 from BComC, clearly. We beat the baby maker who keeps having kids but can't beat the Suns. Snatched they soul. Ha 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 ha. Snatch 'em Suns. Snatchington. And then a ton of just jumbled letters.
And then Mix Snatchy Gang.
Oh, McSnatchy Gang. I didn't even peep that. Okay. And the salute emoji, of course.
Don't sleep on McSnatchy
I mean,
Gang.
for a guy that has as many kids, you think he could have scored down the stretch there for
Hey!
It was the Suns that had no
Minnesota
had no protection for the Suns
with all the turnovers, I'm not surprised that they didn't have a lot of protection, of the ball.
Or ball.
GG Dad 14 with a $4.99 super chat. Hope your kid's not watching. It's just a $4.99 super chat, no text, but thank you for being here. Tara Zonatanos, $10 super chat says, for your watch along freak out reaction, so good, great win. Thank you.
I was broke equipment because we're
what you don't know
is we're like tethered to the audio board, and I went to hop up and I realized, and I was like, well, I'm throwing the headset or I'm taking the board out.
By the way, if you missed that, I believe we clipped that into a short that I think should be up on our channel right now.
We are probably getting laughed at on the internet as we speak. I don't either. It was fun.
I don't care at all if we get laughed at. Speaking of, we got more super chats from BComC Clearly.
$5 from BComC Clearly. And I still hate Minnesota. I hate Minnesota. Minnesotans, we snatched Ant's soul like his BM stands for baby mama. Snatched it so hard. Boom. Snatch Suns.
Thank you for translating.
You didn't have to translate. Thank you.
There's another one, too, that maybe we'll get to here in a second. Hit the like button. Hit the subscribe button as well.
We're just starting here. This post-game show is going to continue to roll along, so stay with us. If we haven't read your super chat, we're going to read your super chat. But there is something more important that we're going to have to do because the coroner is waiting for us out at the morgue. The context is ready to drop some knowledge here on the program. He will be here shortly, and we're going to have to do that. And then we can get in the rest of these super chats because we're going to have to let these BComC Clearly chats percolate for a little while before we get to the rest of them.
You guys got to earn it, though. Okay, I don't think we're at our like. I don't think we're at our like goal yet. Are we at
no,
our
we're
like
not.
goal yet?
We are at 255.
Oh, well,
you people are
that's not
slacking.
okay.
I need 100. I need 90 more likes.
I'll tell you what. Just to tide us over in the meantime until we get to a certain amount of likes here. I will be brave, and I will read a Be Calm, See Clearly super chat. $5 from Be Calm, See Clearly.
Can you read it like a thespian? Can we put a little acting into it?
When the snatch comes, all you can do is assume the position. And then snatch.
The position?
The position.
Oh, the position.
And then snatch.
Snatch.
No baby mama needed.
No baby mama needed.
Salute emoji.
Salute, good sir.
The salute emoji.
That may be the best Be Calm, See Clearly one we've ever read. Freckle Mama needs to lift his game up.
Lonnie with a $1.99 super chat. Thank you, Lonnie. Says, fan since KJ number 11. Where's my emojis? Well, KJ, Lonnie, you got to be a member.
Do you know when KJ wore number 11?
No.
Would have worn it in the February of 88 when he got dealt here for 2 months. He wore number 11 because it's what he wore in Cleveland. Then he switched to 7.
Yeah, I didn't know he wore 11. Sean says, new best pod episode ever. Well, it's just about to get better. Let's go ahead and check in with the coroner from the afterlife in the morgue. It's, as Espos deemed him, Mr. Context himself. Steven, what the hell was that game?
I mean, your guess is as good as mine, man. That was wow. I'm kind of lost for words if I'm being honest, man. They had no business winning that game.
No.
And I think if I'm being honest, they should have lost it. I think Minnesota lost that game, and Collin Gillespie found a way through that back door that they kept open and did what he showed to do in training camp. And that's take advantage of opportunity. And here the Suns are looking at a win in a situation that they shouldn't have had it, essentially atoning for that loss to Atlanta as far as that goes. So you take them as they come, but you have to do a much better job of managing games and navigating games if you're the Suns forward.
Was that a microcosm of what this team is and who they want to be? Because that final minute 30, I mean, it makes no sense that they were able to get back. But when you look at who this team's been all year, it makes perfect sense that they found a way to do it.
Yeah, I asked Dylan Brooks about that part in particular, and he essentially said, yeah, like they don't necessarily come into every day like painting this picture and saying this is why we have to work hard, but they understand that there's going to be adversity that's out of their control in terms of officials or injuries or fouls or a team going on an insane heater like the Hawks did early in that fourth quarter. Like all of that type of stuff is going to happen, but when everybody's still moving on the same accord and everybody's trying to work to find a solution together, I think that's the good that they've been kind of receiving the benefits from, just in kind of going about it and process that way through training camp in these first now 16 games of the season.
What was the vibe like when you were talking to players after the game? Like, were they happy that they got the win? Were they maybe like upset because they felt like they should have won in a more convincing way? What was the general tenor of the players and coach post-game?
Happy for sure. A win is always going to get some type of positivity out of guys. There was a clear awareness of them not putting themselves in that position to have to then do what they did to ultimately win. And there's also acknowledgement of the louder mistakes, like a season high in turnovers that they had as a team. And that being a big piece of why they put themselves in the hole that they had to ultimately dig themselves out of. So I feel like it was a chord struck on all three of those things. Not too much acknowledgement of one thing without bringing into context the other things that happened with it. And obviously, at the end of the day, take the win as it comes. But I think they learned from everything that happened in this game, and it feels like they applied some of the lessons that they learned in that Hawks game to get back and ultimately win this one tonight.
How impressive was Jordan Goodwin to you, and has he officially moved into that top slot on your blue-collar boys list?
Yeah, I've tried to do my small part in spreading awareness of Jordan Goodwin. This is not your typical last add to a roster. This is not your typical 9th or 10th guy in your rotation. This is an impact player. Is it going to come with inconsistencies? Yes, but The one thing that's never going to be inconsistent is the energy he brings and the way that it is contagious for the other 4 players on the court and the rest of the players in the team's rotation. I think we saw that in multiple stretches in tonight's game. His first half, he led the entire game in plus or minus. That's not something that you typically do for a player that only played 12 minutes in the first half. And I think he was plus 21 in those 12 minutes. And then you do what he did in the second half to follow that up with significantly more adversity on the comeback instead of being in front. That's a special type of role player right there. You don't find those guys. That's not like a run-of-the-mill type guy. He's cut from a very special cloth. I would probably slide him to 1B to Dylan Brooks' 1A as far as the blue-collar boys go on that spectrum. And I think he came into the season as number 2, if I remember correctly, at least off of my personal merits, he was number 2. Dude just gets it done, and you can't put a value on having role players within an ecosystem that respond to the extent that guys like him have shown to do.
Steven, is it true that he broke his nose at the end of that game? There's a rumor going around. Did you hear anything about that?
No, I didn't hear any questions asked about that, nor did I see him post-game. So I can't say that I saw something and I didn't hear anything. So I can't, unfortunately, clarify that part of it for y'all. But if he did, this was a game that was definitely worth it. And that, again, it just speaks to, it's just another example of that guy being a blue-collar dude, laying it all on the line to get a win.
Steven, I think there are a lot of people in the chat who are not having conflicting feelings, but more just asking questions. They've seen guys like Jordan Goodwin and Collin Gillespie step up when you're missing a Jalen Green, a Grayson Allen. Devin Booker has a bad game and then eventually fouls out. Dylan Brooks fouls out. And the Suns have had this next man up mentality. A lot of people are wondering, well, what happens when this squad is fully healthy? How do you see a guy like Jordan Goodwin, and even for that case, Collin Gillespie, sliding in and continuing to make an impact when this team is fully healthy?
Yeah, I think if the situation was different as far as the kind of culture that they're clearly establishing in the foundation days through this first quarter of the season, if it was a different situation, I would have more questions about how they would figure that part out. But I think this win is just an example of the ecosystem that they're establishing. And I hate to keep bringing back last season, but it pales, like last season genuinely pales in comparison to what they've established. And they aren't even at the first quarter of the season yet. They still have a few more games to go before they get there. So because of that at their foundation and guys being able to respond because of the buy-in that they have from Jordan Ott and company, but also because of the ways in which he implores for them to just play to their strengths, I don't think it's going to be an issue. The minutes distribution will 100% look different, but I think that even in the maybe less minutes that 2 guys like Collin and Goody might see, they'll still find ways to have impact that's as loud as these moments that they've been able to share when Jalen's been out the lineup and when Grayson's been out the lineup and when Devin's been in foul trouble and things like that. So I worry less about it because of those things. And I think because of that, the strength in numbers part is going to be very loud and in their favor, knock on wood, when they do ultimately get healthy.
We've all seen this from Jordan Ott, and he said it again tonight, and you've been around the team a lot. They seem to just have this mentality of on to the next one. We'll enjoy this for the moment, but we're right back to work. How much do you think that's been a key to their success, that's just their mindset? We'll move on and we're just going to focus on what we have to do next.
Yeah, I think that's major in everything that they're establishing. I think at times in games, they have to find ways to better streamline, not getting too high or too low in response to things that are happening over the course of games. But I think that once the final buzzer hits, they don't allow for things to linger. They don't get too big for their britches, but they also don't get too down on themselves when they kind of sometimes come up short at times. It's very much a game-by-game approach, and once one is done, they're on to the next, to your point, Espo. And I think that's why I have found solace even in some of the losses, like the game against Atlanta, where everybody was, a little bit on edge and not sure. I was like, I don't think it's a thing that's going to be recurring because of what we've seen building up to that game. And I think they're in a good space because of it. They won't get too high off of this win, acknowledging the things that they should have done better. And I think they'll learn from it.
I think it's a perfect transition to my final question for you, Steven. Of course, Steven, a big part of our team at every single home game. You can, of course, find him at StevenPG3. That's Steven with a PH. Live tweeting about Jordan Goodwin pretty much the entire time. It's like a Jordan Goodwin stan account, more or less. StevenPG3.
Hey, you give me reasons, I put them out there, get you to awareness.
So obviously moving on and Flushing is something that Devin Booker is going to have to do after tonight. By my money, one of the worst games I've seen him play. Still ended up with a double-double. You talked to him in the post-game locker room. Did he say anything about his performance tonight that also includes 6 fouls?
Yeah, he attributed some of it to how well the Minnesota Timberwolves defended him today. Chris Finch is a very good defensive coach. We've talked about that for some time. He also has very good defensive personnel within his main rotation. And they did a very good job of setting a tone with Devin as far as taking away his pockets to score the basketball. I think Devin did a decent job early on of getting off of it quick and moving it to where it needed to go for other guys to flourish off the attention he gets. But those moments where the game was asking for him to score outside of that fourth quarter stretch where I think he scored or assisted on 3 straight possessions before he fouled out, it was really a game that was asking for his stamp to be there in a kind of sustained manner. And for multiple reasons, at which he took account for, some of it was just him needing to be better. He just didn't have it today. And I think that's some of the difference between, again, last season's team and this season's team. If Devin or Kevin had a bad game last season and one of those two wasn't available to step up for the other, who else was doing that really? That's a big difference between last year and this year. And Collin doing what he did, I think infused confidence came from Devin and him just kind of speaking confidence into him all this time. No different than he's done with Dillon Brooks. So Devin took accountability for anybody that's looking for that direct answer. He didn't duck any of that. He attributed some of it to the defense that he was seeing, but mostly for himself and just needing to be better.
I know you're not a doctor. You just do the post-mortem here, but did Ryan Dunn break his ass when he tried to dunk on Rudy Gobert? Does that look painful? And it goes back to what we talked about. He looks off balance sometimes when he goes after those dunks, but impressive effort at least.
It is. I said it recently. He's been the most audacious dunk attempter in the NBA this season. He's attempted to climb Mount Wembanyama. He's attempted to climb Mount Gobert tonight. He's had other instances. Hey, listen, whatever it is, I'm here for it, man. I'm here for all that smoke.
Clip it. Steven hates the French.
Can we get him some of those clips that you climb a mountain with so he doesn't fall off of them?
Me hating the French with a French last name, Eric. Go figure. That's crazy.
Hey, be your own.
But no, he did not break his backside, Espo. It was funny while we were waiting for Dillon Brooks in the locker room. We didn't speak with Ryan, but he kind of passively spoke with us as he was heading out the locker room. And he acknowledged that he has the best highlight reel of almost dunks this season so far. He was just beside himself. He was like, man, I got to throw one down at some point. And me and Kellen Olsen were just looking at him like, yeah, you putting in all that work, you might as well go and flush one on somebody, man. That because you paying for it on the back end, and you don't have anything to show for it. Yeah, literally.
I mean,
and you don't really
now
have
when
Steven,
when Ryan Dunn dunks on somebody, we're giving you credit because you said, "Hey, why don't you finish one of these things?"
But did you go to him? Hey, pick somebody a little smaller next time. Like
just
a
Julius
little
Randle,
bit,
for God's sake.
Nah, that's not. There's a thrill factor that comes with dunking on the footer, and I'm speaking as if I've done it before. I certainly have not. But I can understand where Ryan is coming from as far as the audacity goes. But yeah, he's in a confident space, and I think those are direct examples of just that.
Steven, I know I said I had one last question for you before. I got one more. I know how passionate you are and how much you want basketball conversation to move in the right direction. So I want to give you an opportunity to talk about how shit the refs were tonight.
The framing of that question is very lawyer-esque for you. Bravo. It was not good. I will say that. And I'm gonna just leave it at that because I don't want to take away from Collin and his spotlight and everything that was this game and this moment and everything. But yeah, they were not good tonight, man. They got to clean that up, and that goes for both sides. They didn't do a good job of setting the tone for things that clearly were pre-existing before this game. Dillon Brooks, Anthony Edwards going back to 2022 in that first round series between their two teams at the time. It's clear that there's been things stemming from that. Devin Booker and Anthony Edwards maybe not smoked directly, but their teams have not been vibing with each other since that playoff series that they met. You have to know those things. You have to be able to get a grip on the emotional side of it early in the game so that you don't get to this moment where you see emotions flying all over the place and guys are getting a little bit out of control with it. So they got to do a better job of that. That's all I'll say on it. I hope I answered your question somewhat thoroughly. Okay, cool. I got questions for y'all though before we get out.
Let me say, I'm glad you didn't get fined there. That was very adroit what you just did there.
Well, I don't have to tiptoe around this. I'm good.
Shane! The mustache behind the Steven.
What's your question?
Shout out
for
Shane.
Us,
he picked a great game to come to.
Facts.
Questions for y'all. Eric, for you. What were you saying when Jordan Goodwin was doing all of the blue collar things in today's game?
And I quote, "Ah!"
I can attest, and it's on film.
I appreciate the self-awareness to move the microphone away from you before you did that. I would have been good, but I'm sure everybody at home watching, or if they're in their car listening and they got on headphones or whatever, greatly appreciate you for that. Those lineups with him on the floor, the Torture Twin lineups that me and Espo spent time speaking about in detail on yesterday's episode.
Great episode. Go watch it if you have it.
Yes, that part. They were very much at the forefront of each of the sparks that this team saw. The first half spark and the second half spark early, and then the late one to ultimately come back to win the game. That's not by happenstance that particular group of guys, all blue-collar guys, and like we said, it happens in multiple iterations. You can swap out Royce O'Neal from the main template, throw in Dillon Brooks, and you still get those same results. That's not by happenstance. And I think you don't get to having those lineups and that understanding and clarity of the roster without guys being hurt, unfortunately. That's why this part of the schedule is so important for them to learn, because you can still glean some things and then bring those things back to the table once you're back whole. So I think they got a lot to build on from that, and that lineup was at the middle of a lot of it. For Espo, what were you saying when you started to see the fumes kind of rolling between Ant Edwards and Dillon Brooks in this one?
Oh, fight! Like I want to see it get real chippy, real talking. I love when Dillon Brooks gets in a guy's head, and that's just fun. So I enjoyed that, Steven.
And what was the moment where y'all said this game was over with? Because I know one of y'all did. I know one of y'all did.
No,
actually, we kept it pretty positive, but there were times where you thought it's getting close to that territory, but they impressed us.
And I quote, we turned to each other and said, "We're winning this game." When the Suns were down like 10, I was like, "We're winning this game," and they did. So here we are.
Yep.
And I'm sure neither one of y'all are surprised Collin made the shot.
No. I mean, not the way he was playing. He needed a wheelbarrow to carry those testicles out of the building tonight.
On that note, Steven, any final thoughts?
Absolutely not.
Perfect. You can follow Steven at Steven PG3.
You're the dog tonight, my friend. Thank you for bringing it out right as always out there.
You can follow Steven at Steven PG3. That's Steven with a PH at practices, shoot around, at the pregame, postgame availability, live coverage throughout the game. Also bringing you fantastic stats, film breakdowns, and everything in between. Absolute must follow for Suns fans, of course. So give him a follow on socials to check out all of his film breakdowns on our channel. And if you're a member, you get access to exclusive extra parts of those film breakdowns. Take care, Steven. We'll talk to you soon.
Appreciate y'all.
Always great to talk to Steven. Always great when y'all hit that like button. Have we hit our like goal yet? No. Wow.
But you can get us there. You can get us there. I'm disappointed. I'm disappointed. It could have been better.
Yeah,
so.
Look, We got super chats we're going to get to, and we are going to read those. Would really appreciate if you hit that like button. Look, I know that you hear a lot of people talk about hitting the like button and, subscribe. And I get it. Sometimes it just becomes like YouTube jargon that it is what it is. You kind of wash over. It helps us out so much, especially for, we're still a relatively small channel on the grand scale of things. And every like, every subscription, as we get closer to 50,000 subscribers, every comment, every share, it goes a long way.
It really, really does.
It really does.
For the price of a cup of coffee each day, you can help 2 podcast hosts live out their dream right here on PHNX.
Actually, it's free. So
it is?
You're getting free.
Well, we're getting screwed then.
Yeah, I mean, members get to pay $5 a month, but you get a free prepaid super chat every month, access to exclusive emojis and all of Steven's content, and extra content we did here for all of our shows, not just Suns. Another super chat here from James Johnson 586. Let's see if this one is in our streaming. This might have come later in the show. It did. $5 for Collin, not just for the shot, but the intelligence to double team Ant right afterwards, and done with the defense on Randall. Let's go, Coach J.O. Not only did they have to draw up a play on if they would hit the shot, Espo, but what they would do afterwards as well. That is also a sign of a prepared team that didn't lose them in the scramble and get a game winner hit on them.
Well, yeah, and they realized they didn't have a timeout, right? That Minnesota didn't have a timeout. Because if you're not prepared for that, you could kind of let off the gas thinking they're going to take a timeout. And no, they knew the situation. They were ready. They forced Ant into having to pass it, and then great defense on Randall. They didn't even get a good look there at the end. And all around great last 12 seconds to that game. Executed perfectly.
It's a well-coached team, and that's a smart team that can take that coaching.
Yep.
Calvin with a $10 super chat. Thanks, Calvin. Says, clutch win. Plenty of time to clean stuff up. That's true. The win at the end of the day, because we all believe this team will learn. The win at the end of the day is all that matters, because we don't think that all of this is going to carry on and be a pattern and whatnot. You got the win. It's an NBA Cup win, so it matters that much more. And
I still, okay, we'll go.
And
with
now
that.
you're the 6th seed. Now you're the 6th seed in the Western Conference.
Stop the count!
16 games into the season, and only a game and a half back of the San Antonio Spurs, who you play coming up very shortly. Let's end things off, unless they send another one in, which usually BCOM does with the Freckled Mamba.
We're not going anywhere till they hit this like goal.
That's true. We still got a lot. Come on, guys, hit the like. I want to go home.
$5
I got a wife.
from BCOM. See clearly. Super duper SNATCH will heal Ryan Dunn back. I'll smooth it over and hug the blanket. And yes, I am dating Goodwin/Dunn/Book. All the snatch-ya-boo.
Okay. Question.
That's snatchy boo.
So
come on.
in what I will deem BCOM See Clearly lore, canon lore, do I correctly remember that BCOM See Clearly said Jordan Goodwin looks like an ex or a baby daddy? Am I correctly remembering that? Because I think I am correctly remembering that. So if you are dating Jordan Goodwin, BCOM See Clearly, I gotta wonder if you're dating Jordan Goodwin for who Jordan is or who Jordan reminds you of. That's a deep question we gotta unpack here.
Man Sour Pro, guys, it says, guys, I'm in France at 7 a.m. I'm screaming after this huge win. I love it. You're going against your own countrymen and rooting for the Suns. I love it. I'm guessing maybe from the Boris Dio days you came into the fold, maybe?
Any other French players in Suns history?
Not that. Oh, Michael Petrus, was he French?
What nationality was Lou Amundsen?
Lou Amundsen was American.
Yeah,
so
that makes sense. But maybe like French descent?
Amundsen
kind of sounds
know.
a little...
No, I think that was probably like...
Jalen Lecque has a French last name.
He does have a French last name. Yes, that is true.
Ify Lundberg
was he German?
It wasn't German. It was Polish?
No,
it was...
Marcin Gortat was Polish.
No, Ify Lundberg was... Belgian.
Elliot Kobo.
Elliot Kobo, yes. Elliot Kobo.
Thank you.
Drake's
Who was
favorite poker player. Elliot Kobo.
Beer is good. Also, Boom Shakalaka said Elliot Kobo. So thank you for that.
Sorry, Ryan Dunn tried to kill Rudy Gobert. And also sorry for the Olympics last year, but not sorry. Any final thoughts as these people in chat are now really lacking on the likes.
Look, we're 50 away from the likes. If you want to go home, I'll just do an impromptu version of Southwest Bias till we get them if we want. Now, look, this was a fun night. I'm still not 100% sure how they lost the lead other than turnovers. I'm not 100% sure how they got the lead back to win this game, but I damn well enjoyed the journey. If you go look at the win probability chart on ESPN, it is freaking insane. It's like this, the Suns have the win, and then it goes straight the hell up. It's insane to me.
$2 from BCom.
Should we hold on? Should we reenact this one?
What do you mean by that?
In the way we did it, the thespian way.
Okay,
here.
yeah, you're gonna have to be way more specific with the BCom Clear Soup chat.
Jordan Goodwin is my ex-boyfriend.
Boyfriend?
I've got the tapes to prove it.
The tape?
Snotch.
What?
End scene.
Oh man. Another super chat from Riddle. Thanks, Riddle. Says, it's crazy how the Suns were playing better while Book was on the bench, but once he came back in, the team completely fell off. It was a bad Devin Booker game. I don't really know what else to say except for Book can't play like that going forward, and I don't think he will. Not only was that the worst Booker game this season, I genuinely believe that is one of the worst Devin Booker games I've ever watched him play, and I've watched every single game that he's played. So it was an anomaly. 9 turnovers, 10 assists for him, 16 points on awful shooting. Still hit a big fadeaway mid-range bucket there near the end, but it was bad to the point where we were saying, like, you got to get Collin Gillespie in the game. But that's one game. It's okay. We can acknowledge that it was a bad game, and we can move the hell on because the Suns won, and Book's not going to do that again.
I think this was one of the worst performances we've seen from Book, but I'm willing to go as far as say this is one of the best performances we've ever seen by one of his supporting casts.
Yeah, I agree.
Because this was, I think, the deepest it's ever gone in terms of guys going third string guys, essentially, with Jordan Goodwin having a major impact, a guy like Collin Gillespie leading the way. There were multiple guys throughout this night in pockets of the game dealing with his defense that stepped up. Mark Williams early on
Mark had a great game.
Had a really strong first half as well. So, like, overall, this was probably the best supporting cast performance we've seen in a bad Devin Booker game.
I'd also like to acknowledge that he had 16 and 10, and I'm not saying he had a good game.
Yeah, he had 9 turnovers.
And I'm not saying not saying he had a good game by any stretch. I just said it's maybe the worst Devin Booker game I've ever seen.
Yes.
Let's just acknowledge the fact that, like, one of the worst Devin Booker games I've ever seen was 16 points and 10 assists. I get that the rest of it happened, but still, it's very, very funny that that's what we're talking about. Mark had a great game taking it to Rudy and company. Are we going to stall here to try to get 350, or do you want me to wrap up? That's the real question, because I could talk a little Mark Williams ball.
Deborah's saying Book has played more good games than bad.
That would be a fact.
By a billion %. Yeah, so.
We have another super chat in here. Ayrton, back on the mic, my friend.
$5 BCom C clearly. Leave Monster Booker alone. I snatched him. Sorry. Salute. It's because he didn't know I could handle the monster and I snatched it. Salute. That's why.
Oh,
I'd like to act like BCom doesn't know exactly what they're doing.
No,
BCom knows exactly what they're doing.
Unfortunately, BCom knows exactly what they're doing. Guys, we need 36 more likes. Please just hit the like button. Somebody asked, do you see about Rudy's weak attempt to go after Collin Gillespie after he grazed his head?
Yeah, that was just dumb.
Low key though, Collin smacked his bald ass head.
Give me a break.
He did. He did smack his head. It's basketball.
Rudy
Gobert
is a punk. And he
is.
He did not.
He also he had a good little run there in the middle. He smacked his bald ass head.
Yeah, well, guess what? He walked out with an L. Carry that home.
I'm really encouraged by the fact that Mark had a good game when the Timberwolves specifically have 3 very different types of bigs in Julius Randle, Naz Reid, and Rudy Gobert. And I never felt like Mark Williams was out of place. Mark also played some really good perimeter defense there in the fourth quarter, specifically switching out to Ant Edwards. He continues to be much better on the perimeter than a lot of people expected him to be coming out of Charlotte. His finishing and especially his aggression around the rim, underrated play of the game. The Mark Williams little push shot over Rudy Gobert in clutch time. That was a crazy shot.
How about his left-handed block as well?
Yeah, the left-handed block as well.
He had 19 points, 8 rebounds, a steal, and a block, and 3 of his rebounds were offensive rebounds, which were huge as well. So
yeah, he's been playing really well. He's had a couple quiet games here over the last week or so, not just statistically, but what's also felt like impact-wise. Those have also come in tandem with some of the best games of Oso Ighodaro. Tonight, you needed Mark Williams to be a monster in the middle, and he was. Oso and Nick didn't have great games individually.
No, they combined for 4 points and 9 rebounds.
And I don't think they were terrible. Some bad decision-making from Nick, as always. But Mark, in his own right, also another good play from Mark. I really want the 350 likes. 27 more likes, please.
This man can filibuster. It's I don't even have to say another word.
I did a 24-hour stream, folks. It's more about wanting to go home and see my wife, not about am I able to do it. Mark Williams turned the ball over. Pretty poor turnover on the fast break there. He just basically threw it to the other team.
Hey, we now need less likes than the Suns had turnovers. Bang. We can do this.
Runs back, active hands, forces a turnover on the other way. That from a big man to have that level of activity, or earlier in the game, he gets away with an elbow on Rudy Gobert.
Yeah, good.
Again, good. And then notices Gobert's like, me chest.
Okay, let's not bring the French thing in. There's plenty of great French people, like the gentleman in our chat.
And then, Rudy Gobert just not one of them. And Mark realizes that, and then Mark sprints down the court and gets an and one layup that they find on the fast break. Him running the court has been awesome. His defense, his motor, his ability to switch out on the perimeter. We've always begged for a center to do the little things. He's not as talented as DeAndre Ayton. And at the peak of what DA was on that finals run, he was an incredible center. But as far as doing all the little things that you would want out of a 7-foot monster, Mark Williams does that better than maybe anybody we've seen in a Suns uniform.
But Mark isn't getting set up offensively.
No, he's not. But he doesn't need to.
And he's been able to do these things. He's getting boards. He's working hard. So.
Oh, the Mansour in the chat says Rudy Gobert is no longer French. You can keep him in the U.S. We fuck with Wemby now.
We reject him. Can we send him to to Canada?
French
maybe
Canada.
Yeah, Montreal, maybe?
Yeah. We'll give a shout out to AIA Edits, who joined us back in the pregame show, said first time catching a show live in a while, was able to get my house situation figured out. Now, because it's the ats, unfortunately, I can't 100% confirm this, so hopefully if AIA Edits is in the chat, I do believe that is somebody who lost their home to the California wildfires and was actively tuning into our show while dealing with that. It was really great to have you back, and what a great day. Not only did the Suns get a miraculous come-from-behind victory that they absolutely did not see coming, but also got gifted a membership. AIA Edits did. So all around, great to have you back.
By the way, our French friend in the chat said, yes, we can give him Gobert to Canada.
Take him. You can have him.
So
go play for
enjoy
the
at Montreal. You can have Rudy Gobert as well. And Jeff says Canada won't want him.
No. I mean, look, I don't think anybody would really want him.
I think we have another super chat here. Do you want me to do it as do you want to do it or do you want me to do it?
I think we have to read this one as a pirate.
Ant couldn't handle me thick self-snatch. Shiver me timbers. You figure out what I added
20
in
likes.
there. 20 just for that. Yeah, 19 likes ago.
I'm going to be honest with you. I'm pretty disappointed. I'm pretty overall disappointed. Do we have enough people in chat right now to
if you guys get the 19 remaining likes that we need, I will send us out with what Anthony Edwards did to us at center court during that playoff series.
I'll do my part. I'm going to switch to a second YouTube account that I have, and I'm going to hit the like button.
The NBA will not find me though. So hit that like 19 away.
Let me read the results of our poll. So I asked the chat, "Are you feeling aligned?" in all caps. The options were yes, MFing yeah, or oh yeah.
I called my physician. I've been so aligned. So.
Where are you in 522 votes? Where do you line? Yes, MFing yeah, or ooh yeah?
Ooh yeah.
Okay, so you're with 27% of our chat saying ooh yeah. 25% say MFing yeah. 48% say yes, but in all caps. So yes. By the way, I just hit the like button. We need 18 more now. Oh, even less than that. We need 12. We need 10.
We need 9.
Come
We're
on.
almost there.
Please.
Here,
I'm just gonna be really annoying. Please, actually,
No, please
cue the
stop
cue the Charles comment. What do you mean you're gonna be really annoying, Eric?
Nookie Monster get us over the hump. Me want to see 10 more like. Hit the like button now. That's what we need.
Do it
Get
for
us
Eric.
there. Do it for Eric. Do it for Espo. Do it for Freckle Mamba. Let them out of here. They do not want to be here. Eric has post-game show tomorrow to do.
Watch
too.
along.
Watch along ASU for good college football.
I might just start scrolling on my phone until you guys catch up. 6 likes. Come on.
6 more to go. You guys can do it. Come on.
Come on.
You can do it.
Come on.
5 more to go. And
Fine. A
if you
super
don't
chat.
hurry up, BComC clearly is
It's
going
gonna
to keep you.
That's a threat. More BComC clearly super chat.
more to go.
Freckled Mamba, let's go.
$2 BComC clearly. Next time to snatch Wemby. Snatch so we win. Salute.
So here's what we're gonna do.
Taylor wants to know, do you guys get raises based on likes? Damn, I
No.
wish so.
I wish. We need 2 more likes. Here's what we're gonna do. I'm gonna start outroing the show, and I'm gonna just make the outro go until we get 2 more likes. But you guys are on a clock. Thank you all for joining us here on what will certainly be one of the most unexpected win post-game shows that we'll have all season. But we appreciate all of you who joined us for the pre-game show, the watch-along show, and the post-game show. As a reminder, we do pre- and post-game shows for every single game, including all the NBA Cup games. Plus, if they get to the finals, we'll do one for that as well. Plus, 1 to 2 watch-alongs a week for the biggest games like tonight, and you can have us respond to the biggest moments in real time. Thank you all for hitting our
Still
like
2.
goal. We got it.
Oh, we got it. Oh,
350.
thank God.
Thank you all for hitting that like goal. We really do appreciate it. Espo, there we go. I know we make it a joke, and we're like, oh, hit the like. Again, like I mentioned, we're nearing 50,000 subscribers here at PHNX, which is a massive milestone and something everybody in this building has worked extraordinarily hard for and put countless hours in for. But in the grand scheme of things, there's still so much more to get and so many more Suns fans and Arizona sports fans that we can reach. Every like, every
they hit
time
it.
that you comment,
can
I'm
go.
going to keep
Okay,
going, though,
okay.
because it's genuine. Every time that you comment, every time that you subscribe, every time you tell a friend in person, become a member, it means so much to the 3 people in this room and everybody in the building who put in their blood, sweat, and tears in this. So yes, we joke about it and beg for it and bring it up, but it does mean a lot to us, even though, no, we do not get raises based off of the amount of likes that we get. So if you want to support the show in another way, you can follow us on socials at PHNX_Suns, up to date with news and the latest notes that you need about the injury report, sounds and sights from practice and shoot around, plus fun, interesting stats. And you'll know whenever we go live, even for emergency podcasts and 3 p.m. shows. That's at PHNX_Suns on Twitter and on Instagram. Shout out to Freckled Mamba holding it down for a nearly 2-hour-long post-game show behind the Mac. So much work goes into what he does that goes completely unseen by all of y'all. He navigated the stream crashing and continuing it in the same stream. I mean,
Didn't panic.
hashtag
Not
built different.
once.
You can follow him at Freckled Mamba on socials. You can follow me at ERIKRUBY. Catch me tomorrow for the ASU pregame, watch along, postgame show. Of course, you can follow Espo and catch Espo on Southwest Bias at Espo.
Ahoy ho.
We all silly like the mayor.